Yo, what's good, boys? So in today's video, we will be talking about how to increase your win rate in trading and how specifically I went from a 57% win rate to about an 80% win rate. So it hovers now about around like 80 to 81%. And yeah, I'll also be going over a trade I actually did take. Yes, I did take this trade. I didn't just go back in replay bar. Actually, it is replay bar, but I didn't just go back on a random ass time frame and all of a sudden I got a 1 to 50 or whatever like these demo gurus does, bro. They take advantage of the replay bar. Let me just say that. But yeah, I won't do that. I will actually show a trade example of a trade I did take, made about 2.1k. I'll pop a screenshot up on the screen of the trade. And yeah, I also did live trade it on YouTube. But yeah, it's going to be a few simple steps on how you can increase your win rate. And I promise you, if you do implement these 3 steps plus the extra bonus steps, you will, with a 99% chance, increase your win rate in trading. So without further ado, and just a disclaimer, right? I'm not here to sell you anything. I am not here to sell you any courses. I'm not here to sell you any signal. It's going to be a no bullshit guide on how to actually increase your win rate. So it's very valuable that you stick until the end and you don't miss out on this video. Because as I said, if you do implement these, I guarantee you, almost guarantee you with a 99% chance that you will increase your win rate. So without further ado, let's just get into the video. Alright, boys, so step number 1, let's write this down, is to zoom out of the 1 minute and 5 minute time frames and focus on the higher time frames instead. So before you click off this video because you're an ICT trader and you're trading 15-second charts, bro, that's crazy. Try this. Try zooming out and look at the bigger picture. Look at the daily 4 hour, 1 hour, and 30 minute. And you can also see that on my statistics, my 5 minute has about a 70% win rate. This is why journaling is so key, because I can identify this. And my 15 has a 70% win rate as well. But look at my 30 minute, 87%, and 1 hour, 85%. So obviously, why, you may ask? Well, because higher time frames always has more power than the lower time frames, right? It is much more easy to read price on the 30 minute and 1 hour instead of the 5 minute and 1 minute, right? If I were to go on the 1 minute, let's say, I were to go on the 1 minute, right? I would probably see that, like, you would probably just get confused by all this bullshit right here. Like, you would get trapped in all this consolidation, accumulation, whatever you want to call it, right? Because you would see that, okay, well, maybe this move here above this previous high is a liquidity grab for price to continue down. So you set your TP right here, will never get activated. Boom, stop loss hit right here. Like, it's just so easy to get stuck in this lower time frame bullshit and not to zoom out and look at the higher time frame, because higher time frames always has more power than the lower time frames, and it's much easier to see where the buy side, where the real buy side liquidity, where the real liquidity pools are on the 30 minute, 1 hour, and 4 hour. So the typical liquidity pools are above previous 4 hour highs in this case, or below previous 4 hour lows. And it's the same goes with the 1 hour and 30 minute. Above 30 minute, above 1 hour previous highs, there's liquidity, especially if there's equal highs or equal lows. So there's liquidity up here, liquidity down here, right? But if you were on the 5 minute time frame, you would see liquidity everywhere. You would literally see liquidity right here, 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 like everywhere, right? You would get confused by all this noise. So instead of focusing on the 1 minute and 5 minute zoom out, look at the 4 hour, look at the daily candle, look at the 1 hour as well, and the 30 minute, and identify what the buy side and sell side liquidity are. You can see that in my live trading video, this is before the move. As you guys can see, I'm anticipating this exact move right here. I'm anticipating that we will come up, push up. Let me make this red. Push up first, right? Let's actually draw it like this. Push up to this equal highs, to these levels up here, because there's a buy side liquidity up here above the previous 4 hour, 1 hour, and 30 minute high, right? And once we do that, we could see that sell-off continuing down in the overall bearish direction, right? This is an overall bearish direction because this move right here pushed price all the way down, like 250 pips or whatever. And this is just a retracement, so we wait for the retracement, right? We zoom out, look at the 4 hour, 1 hour, and 30 minute, and we identify the buy side liquidity up here. We want to make that get liquidated, get ran, right? For the retail traders to get ran right here, for the institutions to get ran, and then we can take advantage of that move continuing down. So zoom out of the 1 minute, zoom out of the 5 minute, and focus more on the 4 hour, 1 hour, and 30 minute, because that has way more power than the lower time frames. So step number 2 goes pretty much hand in hand with the step number 1, and that is to follow the daily bias slash direction. So instead of getting in on the 5 minute, getting in buys here, anticipating this massive move to retrace this whole move, instead just focus on taking sells only, focus on anticipating the move, because we are in an overall bearish trend. As you guys can see, we push down heavily right here, and it's the same trade. If you haven't noticed, this is the same trade as this one, right? So focus on the daily bias and slash direction. It's basically the same thing, and wait for, in this case, sells, because the daily will most likely follow the overall daily direction, the overall higher time frame direction. And you have to think about it like this: if we are bearish right here, right, and I'm looking for sells, where would I take sells? I would take sells once the retail traders get liquidated and their stops get ran. So in this case, above the previous 30-minute high, above the previous 1 hour high, and above the previous 4 hour high. It is a massive liquidity pool. There's a lot of liquidity resting up here. So once this get ran, we can now take advantage of the move continuing down. So step number 2 goes pretty much hand in hand with step number 1, and to follow the daily bias slash direction. So let's get into step number 3. So step number 3 is to wait for buy side and sell or sell side liquidity to get liquidated. Just like that. Yes. So it's pretty much the same thing as before, but you have to think of it. You have to think of it like this, right? If you're in a bearish overall trend, right? Bearish overall trend, you wait for the retracement of some kind of level, right, to get a liquidation of some kind of equal highs up here, because you want to take sells, right? And if you're in a bearish trend, right, bearish trend, the chance of price wanting to grab buy side liquidity first for price to continue down is way higher than price wanting to grab sell side liquidity first to get continuation up, because we're in an overall bearish trend. So when we are in an overall bearish trend, right, this is the move, this is the retracement. So now we wait for the liquidity grab, and liquidity grabs typically happen in the daily direction. So we will want to see a buy side liquidity get taken out just like that, right? Get ran right here. All these stops get ran and then continuing down. So if it's vice versa, if we're in a bullish trend, we would see that move continuing up, or that move, the bullish move, right? The retracement, wait for equal lows to get formed, to get like printed, right? And we wait for sell side liquidity now to get ran, and then we get that initial move going up. Because you have to think of it like this, right? Price obviously follows market structure, and this is basically just market structure. If you think of it and zoom out on the higher time frames, this is a let me think of it. This is a low, this is a lower high. This is let me draw it on like green or whatever. This is a low. This is a lower high. This is what retail traders think is the lower high right here, which makes sense, right? That is why there is buy side liquidity above these equal highs, because there is stop losses from retail traders. But instead, just wait for these retail traders to get liquidated right here. So now this right here becomes the lower high. So low, lower high, lower low, and vice versa. There's a high. Retail traders thought that this or this or this was the higher low, but in reality, there's just generating sell side liquidity below these equal lows for price to get ran and then move in the overall bullish direction, which is bullish, right? Bearish direction, buy side liquidity get ran, bullish direction, sell side liquidity get ran. I hope that makes sense, okay? So wait patiently for, let me delete all this. This is maybe easier. So wait for buy side and or sell side liquidity to get liquidated. And in this case, if the overall trend is bearish, what do we wait for? We wait for buy side to get liquidated first to continue down in the overall direction with a low, lower high, lower low, right? don't get trapped into this lower high thinking this is the lower high, because price 90% of the chance will always grab liquidity, will always hunt these institutions or retail trader stop losses first and then go in the overall direction, which in this case is bearish, right? So I hope that makes sense for step number 3. Let's get into some bonus steps. So some bonus steps on how you can increase your win rate. Let's move this up here. Is to let me draw it out. So take less trades. Let's actually do this. Bonus tips. Take less trades and take maximum 1 trade a day. And I know that's also boring. That's like zooming out of the 1 minute and 5 minute time frame. I know it's boring as shit, but this will increase your win rate as well. So step number 1, zoom out of the smaller time frames to get into the higher time frames. Follow the daily direction and wait for buy side or sell side liquidity to get liquidated, and then take advantage of that move, continuing in the overall direction, right? So some bonus tips. Take less trades. Once I started taking a fewer trades, right, my win rate increased basically. So you have to think of it like this, right? In trading, you don't get paid for the hours you're on the charts. You get paid for the quality hours you're on the charts. You get paid for the quality decisions you make, right? The more trades you take does not equal the more money you make. And it's like in hours as well. The more hours you spend on the charts does not equal the more money you make in trading. It's not like any other business, right? So take less trades and focus on quality. Let me write this down. Quality over quantity. Focus on higher quality setups instead of just quantity setups. Instead of just 5 different setups, focus on one. Focus on one A+ setup only, right? And that goes pretty hand in hand with the second bonus tip, which is maximum 1 trade a day. So once you've taken 1 trade, there's a reason why you either got stopped at break even, you got stopped at your stop loss, or your price went to a TP, right? You took advantage of the move, or if it hit your stop loss, I mean, you didn't quite catch the move, right? But take 1 trade a day, and this will increase your win rate because you won't get greedy no matter the outcome. If you got into a break-even trade, if price, let's say price went into profits, you go break even, price taps you break even and goes in your direction. Okay, call it a day, whatever, right? Whatever. There's a new day tomorrow, and if it's a Friday, there's a new week on Monday. There's a new month. The markets will always be here. So why rush it, right? When you're rushing it, you're only gonna be like, it's only gonna take a longer time to succeed, right? So that's actually a good quote. I heard that from a live stream. He said like, if you know you're gonna succeed in trading, why rush it? Because rushing it only makes it take longer time. So think about that, boys. But yeah, focus on less trades a day, and this is pretty much quality over quantity, and focus on 1 trade a day maximum, no matter the outcome. If you take a loss, call it a day. If you take a break even, call it a day. If you take a win, call it a day and come back tomorrow or next week. It's not that deep. You don't have to chase all these moves. You don't have to catch this move continuing up. You don't have to catch this retracement continuing up, this retracement, this liquidity grab, this. You don't have to catch everything. Just catch 1 or 0 moves a day, and I promise you will increase your win rate. Just focus on quality over quantity. Now, you don't need to trade my specific strategy, but I'll do a quick trade recap / breakdown of this trade I took, right? So I'll do it in like 1 minute or so. So it's a breakdown, it's a continuation down, bearish trend, right? Price starts to consolidate right here. There's generating sell side liquidity down here, buy side liquidity up here. Well, what does price want to do? Well, it wants to liquidate its previous 4-hour high, 1-hour high, and 30-minute high up here, which I had drawn out, which I had anticipated before the move even happened, right? Because we're in an overall bearish trend, I'm looking for a liquidation of the retail traders first for price to continue down, with this being the, let me just explain, with this being the lower high, low, lower high, lower low, right? Like down here or whatever, right? So that's the whole strategy. You just take advantage of price action with the market structure, and you take advantage of liquidity and liquidity grabs, right? So yeah, if you're interested in that, I have a free playbook. Let me show you. I have a free playbook of this entire strategy. It's in the Discord. It's all for free. It also have this journal you can use and utilize yourself. So if you want access to that, and if you want access to live trading as well, join the free Discord. It is in the description. So I hope you like this video, and I hope you take some notes, because this is very valuable. You will most likely increase your win rate if you do implement these 3 steps plus the bonus steps. So yeah, thank you for watching, boys, and I will see you guys in the next video.